And it's very hard to find.
And I'm such a, what do you call, like a costume jewelry girl, right? So I love drama. Even when I was on, television, I always liked to have a piece of drama, even if everything else was like simple, right? So my line is really that: chokers, lip rings, 2 finger rings, feather ear cuffs. I mean, we got some really cool stuff.
I wouldn't mind being one of your ambassadors.
Okay, I would so be honored.
I would be playing. Listen, every day.
Okay.
I would be wearing your stuff.
Okay.
Seriously.
No, we're gonna talk about it after.
I'm serious.
Yeah, this is gonna be so much fun for me.
I'm excited. Well, you're the 50th chapter.
Come on.
Hey,
No.
she's 50, looking 30. How do you
you.
do this? How do you make 50 look so good?
Man, I'm so first of all,
No wrinkles. You don't have the little gobbler thing going on here.
Let me tell you something. I think in our 20s we worry about everything. Or we think about if we're gonna even make it to 50. I think back on being just a worrier, right? When I was young, like everything was just so different then though. Now it has to be worse. A lot is going on in this world. But like now that I'm making 50, I'm like, you were worried for nothing. You were worried for nothing.
Tell them again. Can you tell us 20-year-olds?
Stop worrying. Everything's going to be just fine. And seriously, worry gives you a lot fine lines and wrinkles. And it makes you look older. And it makes you do things that aren't pleasing. Really, like, accept yourself and be in the moment. Because I lost a lot of time. I hate to say that because there are no mistakes. But I kind of feel like, we waste time on worrying about things that aren't even going to happen. They're not going to happen. 99% of the time, the things that you guys worry about the most isn't going to happen. So chill and enjoy every heartbeat. And heartbeats are very precious to me right now.
Let's talk about it.
Let's do it.
You had some scares recently with your heart. We even talked about it because I had some scares as well. What's going on?
So I went to get my yearly physical. That's another thing. Take care of your bodies. Go check on yourself. And my EKG was abnormal. So the doctor was like, your heart must have gotten damaged. I'm just going to send you to a, cardiologist. And I'm thinking, huh? It's the last thing I expected to hear. I just turned 50. No, I was just about to turn 50. So I was turning 50 on the 26th. This was the 3rd of April. And so I go to the cardiologist. They're telling me my main artery is dilated. So it's too big, which sometimes in some cases could become a aneurysm, right? Which is how my grandmother that I was named after, her name was Christine. I was named Christina after her, and she died at 37 from a heart aneurysm. Whoa. So think about like generationally, a lot of times, like if it's our parents will think, will I survive? Will I live past my mom's age? And then as a grandchild of her, my mom's mom, I'm thinking, well, will I live, past 37? So a lot of times we can create things by our fears and the way that we think and how we speak on things. I've been very adamant, I've always been adamant on lifestyle, the way that I eat, fasting, and all of that good stuff, making sure that I'm taking care of my body. But in the back of my mind, you do have concerns based on your history, right? But just because it's hereditary doesn't mean it has to happen to you. It's like, how are you living? So let's talk about it. Physically, I was doing good. I've always been good with my eating. I'll get off track. I'll gain weight. I'll go back on a fast, cleanse, whatever, detox, and I'm back on it, right? But sometimes we don't deal with the emotional tie to everything. And I'm telling you, every illness has an emotional tie, right? So there's a book called You Can Heal Your Life by Louise L. Hay. And she has every dis-ease you can think of in this book, right? And for instance, I had, what are they called? Fibroids, right? Fibroids, the emotional tie to fibroids is when you are holding on to a relationship that you've outgrown. Yeah. And a lot of Black women, we suffer from fibroids really bad.
We suffered from that, both.
And the second emotional tie to fibroids is when you are creative and you're not able to be creative. You're not practicing, you're not using that gift. So when your creativity is stifled, you can also cause fibroids. So everything has an emotional tie. So with the heart, I think I've really been delving in since April, not only just ritual wise and, when I make up my mind to do something, like I've done 40-day, 40-night fast twice in my life where I didn't eat any food. I just had water, and then maybe a couple of weeks before I would start acclimating my body with green juices and stuff. So when I get my mind made up, I'm like, let's go. And with this, I've been doing that, like plant-based, really eating well, exercising, and going to my doctor's appointments, but also doing herbs and things that help me on the, I'm a natural girl. I love to use herbs and stuff. I'm not a big medicine girl, but I know if I have to do, Western medicine, I will.
Yeah. So you believe in a lot of like the doctrines of Dr. Sebi.
Dr. Sebi, and there's a new guy. His name is Yaki Awakened. He's amazing. If you could get him here, it would be amazing.
Shout out, what's his name?
Yaki Awakened.
Okay.
So right, he was sick at 21, I think, a very early 20s. He had a heart attack. He was doing drugs. He was drinking a lot of alcohol. He had a heart attack, almost had a stroke, and he had to heal himself. So he practiced Dr. Sebi's stuff, but he also started researching for himself. So he's like a new age Dr. Sebi. So he gives a lot of praise and honor to Dr. Sebi, but he is doing his thing. So like I'll use his herbs. I follow him because he's really, really good. So yeah, I do a lot of stuff. Like I do meditation, I do hypnosis, I do energy work. I'm open. I was raised Christian, and I consider myself a Christian. But I think a lot of times we put God in a box.
Yeah.
He's so much bigger than what we've been taught, right? So I'm open to everything, right?